run it. I look for the guy maybe to get 6,000 yards this year.
What do you see, guys,
I don't
quarterbacks?
see that happen. I mean, if you go for his pace right now, that would mean David Carwood is on a record pace to be sacked 150 times.
Okay.
So we're not going to go. But what I see around the league right now, Rodney Peete. I mean, people thought Fox was crazy going with the older guy. But John Fox
Oh, that's good.
chose to go with
I got it.
Rodney Peete over Chris Winkie. I mean, what has this guy done? 105 quarterback rate, no interception. The guy has protected the ball. This team is 2-0. I know they've only played Baltimore and Detroit, but this guy is playing some decent football. He's giving his team an opportunity to win.
Well, the biggest.
We're coming after you.
Jerome, I actually do like you, but, you know.
I don't know how you got to be center, but
That's just the way it is. Don't worry.
I get to take a snap from Boomer Esiason.
And don't be fresh. Don't be fresh.
Okay, come on. There you go.
Stop,
buddy.
all right. Stop it, all right? Let's go.
Said Hut.
Oh, said Hut. Okay, I got the golf guy.
If I want to run
You don't want the golf
inside,
guy.
be an inside runner, I've got to do one big thing. I've got to find a defensive tackle and look at his eyes, find out what he wants to do. If I want to go inside, I can't just go inside. I've got to set him up. I've got to go outside, dance a little bit, come back inside, and then that's the moment of truth.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's
there
what
we
I'm looking
go.
for. I'm looking for the defensive back here, and I want to set him up a little bit. I've got two options. I can stick him inside and get by him, get him low, and pick up that left foot so he can fall. Come on, get on up. We got to get you up. Or I can back it up, and I can just run him right over. I can run him right over, just like that. But it wouldn't be that easy, but I could do that.
On
That's
him,
my
it would be
option.
that easy, let me tell you.
Jerome, how have you done it? 10 years now in the league, and you've taken so many hits, and you still just keep on going, missing very few games.
Well, you know, I think it's two things. First of all, I fight the battles that I know I can win. I mean, I don't try to go out there with those 300-pound guys and try to beat them up. I look for guys
Like
about his size, exactly, right? His mentality, he just wants to olay me, and I go after them. But another thing, and for you running backs out there, young running backs, this is very important. I learned how to fall, you know. I get the ball 25-plus times. I have to fall on the ground 25 times.
And the art of falling, can you give us an
There's a
explanation?
big art to falling.
Okay.
When you fall, you want to make sure you don't do one thing. You don't put your hand out to you know, you have a tendency to put your hand out. Two bad things can happen. First of all, your elbow, you can dislocate your elbow, or more importantly, you can separate your shoulder, and that is a big problem for a running back because that keeps you out 3-4 weeks, and you can't be effective for your football team. So you got to learn how to fall properly.
Well done. Why don't you stick around?
Oh, well.
Good to have you. Jerome Bettis, folks, how about it? Next up, Miami. And in 6 of those 8 wins, the Jets came in as an underdog, as they are today. Their offense, though, has been really stalled so far this season. Curtis Martin and the Jets offense just hasn't been able to hack it so far.
Oh, yeah,
Dan.
well, you lead right into Paul Hackett, and really what they have to do is just emphasize the fact of running Curtis Martin. He has 8 rushes for 11 yards. When would you ever think that would happen to the Jets in the first 2 games? It's such an important thing, and the key for them is to get him going early.
Well, Danny, let me tell you something about the Jets. The reason that that's happening is because their defense has been allergic to tackling. Teddy Cottrell, I think, is the man on the spot here. You know, they spent so much money in the offseason on new defensive linemen. They brought in Sam Cowart. They have a rebuilt secondary, which is going to be missing starting safety Damian Robinson today. So this defensive line right here has got to step up. They got to get pressure from John Abraham, their sack specialist, supposedly, has been missing the first few
Boomer,
games.
these guys don't have a shot, man. You know, they got to attack Jamar.
That has victimized Miami in his career. 7 career touchdowns against the Dolphins. But can that Jets offense get going today, unlike a week ago? Welcome back to the NFL Today. Crevette and company have beaten their AFC East arch rivals 8 straight times. Marcus Allen is in Miami, where the Dolphins have installed a new offense featuring the running game.
Jim, new offensive coordinator Norv Turner provides a style, and new tailback Ricky Williams delivers the substance. Down here in South Florida, they're calling this new attack the Miami Pound Machine.
Fiedler back to pass, looking right, throws the slant complete. Conrad, touchdown, Miami Dolphins. Fiedler rolls right, looking for the corner. G. Fiedler, touchdown. Ricky Williams, touchdown.
All teams felt the Dolphins were one-dimensional, and not anymore.
Well, I think we're extremely two-dimensional now, and I think it's going to be impossible to do a good job defending us. They really can't put 8 men in the box, and they really can't sit back and play cover 2 against us because we're going to hurt them either way.
I read something that you said about the running back carrying the team and not waiting for someone else to do it.
What I've realized is every day on the field, and even in practice, if I have a good practice, somehow the coach ends up saying we had a good practice. And also in the games when I'm running the ball out there, I'm running hard at breaking tackles, it gets the offense fired up, it gets the defense fired up.
You're absolutely right.
It speeds the game up, and everyone, you know, I am the catalyst.
I'm gonna give you a choice, Coach.
Okay.
All right? We can talk about the 8-game losing streak, or we can talk about Ricky Williams. What would you prefer?
We'll deal with Ricky.
In my opinion, when you made that trade, I think the perception of the Miami Dolphins changed.
I think the thing that it's done, there's been so much conversation here, long before I got here, you know, about the one thing that was missing was the running game.
I mean, it helps everyone. If you can run the football, your quarterback has an advantage. I think your offensive line has an advantage. And certainly your receivers are going to get the chances in more favorable situations.
Fiedler wants to throw. He does. Up high and caught by Chambers. Chris Chambers.
Oh, there's no doubt about it that, you know, having him in the backfield makes me a better quarterback. Things that really impress me about him is all the other stuff that he does on the football field, and his intelligence for the game and his feel for the game is just something that you can't teach a guy.
While the talk has been about Ricky the last 2 weeks, the focus has now turned to the so-called Jet Jinx and what they're going to do about it.
The biggest thing for me was realizing certain things that the pre-Ricky Dolphins had in their heads, you know, whether it's about working out or about playing the Jets, about anything, that my presence will change a lot of their ideas and give them confidence in ways that they didn't have before because they didn't have a running back of my caliber.
Ricky Williams.
Do you feel like you're the piece that they've been waiting for a long, long time?
I think that's up to me. I think I can be if I accept the challenge and keep up the hard work.
Well, the obvious difference is the 20-pound weight loss, which has made Ricky faster and quicker. But what I noticed more than anything is his maturity, something he didn't show in New Orleans. He's happier here, which means a more productive offense for the Dolphins. When you talk to the Dolphin players about the Jet Jinx, 6 of the starters, including Ricky, could care less about the pass. The only streak they're concerned with is going from 2-0 to 3-0. That's it from a very warm Miami. Back to you, Jim, in New York.
All right, thank you, Marcus. You can talk about that 8-game streak for the Jets, but I want to talk about another one. The Dolphins haven't lost a home game in September.
They don't lose in September.
16 straight. I'm not going to give you the game ball. I'm going to give it to Boomer because he's the last guy to beat Miami in September at home, 93.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much, Jim, for finally recognizing me for something.
There you
on this
go.
program.
You ran one in.
Look at that. That was looking pretty good.
Our defense.
Well, you know, it's all for
won
effect, Dion. It's about to let people know that I can actually have the effort to go for it.
I like the little light jaws back.
Look at that.
You look slim in there.
Yeah, I am pretty slim there. Dan could never do that. He'd fall and trip. More than 5 steps, he would fall and trip.
And look at the numbers.
Look at that. I think I was the AFC Player of the Week that week, too, by the way, Jim.
The one thing, though, he did big time. After the game, you know how you usually go over and say how he ran in because he wanted to do interviews and talk to the press about
man, I was
first
a
time
press
beating
guy.
the
You know that.
Dolphins.
Who will lead the team to victory today?
Well, the important thing for Miami today is, you know, last year Jay Fiedler threw 2 interceptions early in the game that went for touchdowns. They run Ricky Williams. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over, and you will beat the Jets.
You know, I like the Dolphins right now. When Ricky was in New Orleans, they said 2 things about him. He can't not catch out the backfield, and he's a little strange. Now, they got one of the 2 correct.
Yeah.
The guy is strange, but he's playing good football. But without Curtis Martin healthy, the Jets don't have a chance.
Hey, guys, they said that they're not worried about that 8-game losing streak. Sam Madison had a players-only meeting earlier in the week, and then all of a sudden, Dave Wannstedt asked Pat Riley, the head coach of Miami Heat, to come in and give us a talk. The one thing that Dave Wannstedt didn't realize is that the Miami Heat have lost their last 3 playoff games to our New York Knicks here in New York. So that's why the Dolphins are going down.
You are stretching it. You're stretching it.
It's just not happening down there. I'm just telling
you know they're worried.
You didn't get the support you thought. I got to tell you, we're all going Jets here. No, we're all going Miami. You got the Jets. You're a lone wolf.
He's got his green collar on for the Jets. Look at this.
That's for Miami.
All right.
The NFL Today will return in just a moment as Kansas City's
Touchdown. 20 to the 10 to the 5. Drives in. Touchdown. Touchdown, New York Jets.
Oh, my God. Is it going to happen again?
Improbable comeback by the New York Jets. Oh, Dr. Baxter, can you believe it?
It's tipped, it's picked off. Oh no, it's gonna go all the way. The Jets, the stinking Jets have done it again.
Pass the vomit bag. I think I'm going to throw up.
Here at Pro Player Stadium, the latest chapter in one of the great rivalries in the National Football League about to unfold. The Jets and the Miami Dolphins. The kickoff is coming your way next.
It started back in 1998. 8 amazing wins for the New York Jets. 8 agonizing losses for the Miami Dolphins. But is 8 enough? We're about to find out.
Couple of heavy-duty streaks on the line here today. It is a warm, muggy day here in southern Florida. A bit of a breeze, though, keeping things fresh. The New York Jets have won the toss, and they've elected to receive. They will get the football first. A little wrinkle on the opening kick. Olindo Mare is going to kick it away, although they looked to be an onside formation. From the 6-yard line is Chad Morton. Morton to the 30, still on his feet, and out to the 35-yard line. 29-yard return by Chad Morton. And onto the field comes Vinny Testaverde. And how does he look at this game from the offense?
Well, a couple things, Greg. The Jets want to get the ball to Curtis Martin. You heard it all week long. So they're going to go to 3 wide receivers and put Curtis Martin in the backfield by himself most of the time. That's what the Jets had success with last year when they looked back and scouted themselves, and that's who they want to be this year.
Trebet, Lavernius Coles, and Santana Moss are the wide receivers. That's Anthony Beck, the tight end, in motion, and here's Martin to the right side. Kevin Mawai in front of him, but he is racked up behind the line of scrimmage. Zach Thomas and Derek Rogers in on the stop. A look at the offensive line for the New York Jets, anchored by 3-time Pro Bowler, the center, Kevin Mawai.
Yeah, the backs and receivers for the Jets. We told you 3 wide receivers most of the time, but Curtis Martin, he's the guy to watch today. Well, he's always the guy to watch when you're playing the New York Jets offense. Kevin Mawai, the center, loves playing the Dolphins. Usually there's nobody in front of him, so he gets to run around a lot more.
Testaverde, quick drop, still on his feet, and throws it away, incomplete. Jason Taylor was in all over Testaverde. It'll be 3rd and 10. The Miami defense has Ogunleye, Tim Bowens, Larry Chester, Jason Taylor up front. The linebacking crew anchored by 3-time Pro Bowler Zach Thomas.
The secondary, Patrick Surtain, excellent corners out. Jamar Fletcher is in his place. Last week, Jamar Fletcher was picked on by the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Jets have the same thing in mind today.
Jets have not been good on 3rd down this season, just 3 of 20. Deep drop for Testaverde. Quick flip to Martin out of the backfield to the 40. Gets first down yardage across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Well, we saw this play last week. The Indianapolis Colts ran this about 6 or 7 times against the Miami Dolphins. Curtis Martin is going to come out through the backfield. Zach Thomas has him all by himself. Look, just a little drop. And now Zach Thomas, look, nobody's around to help him out. Can you tackle Curtis Martin in the open field? That time he could not do it.
First down, Jets at their own 47-yard line. Again, 3 wide receivers with Beck in motion. And they give to Martin right side. This time trying to turn the corner. Close to midfield. Zach Thomas there to rack him up.
Well, you know, Greg, I want to go back to that 3rd down play. We talked to Zach Thomas on Friday, and he brought that play up because just think last week it was Edgerrin James he covered in those passing situations. Now it's Curtis Martin. He says that's too hard. It's too hard for anybody. I don't think there's many defensive backs that can make those tackles in the open field against those type of players. So you got to give Zach Thomas some help.
2nd and 7 with the ball at midfield. Testaverde on the quick slant, in and out of the hands of Lavernius Coles, who should have held it. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, you're seeing some of the reason why the Jets are not good on 3rd down, because when it's 3rd and long, nobody in this league's really good. Not running the ball well, that makes it tough in the passing situations. And then they just not have been, well, not catching the big passes. Vinny Testaverde completing over 70% of his passes, but no sizable yardage with those throws.
3rd and 7, the kind of pass play here where the Jets would look for number 80, Wayne Corbett. That's Corbett in motion. Testaverde running out of time. Now on the move, and now throws and has Corbett inside the 40-yard line, and that's a 1st down for the Jets.
All the Dolphins, they want Vinny Testaverde to be past the line of scrimmage. He is not. Greg, you said it right. The Jets, Herman Edwards, we got to find out what we are. And here's what they are. And he said it very clean and clear to us last night. Watch Wayne Corbett. They get him off the line with that formation. We got to run Curtis Martin. And when it's 3rd down, we got to throw the ball to Wayne Corbett. Design plays to get him open and make him the focal point of your 3rd down passing.
On 1st down, let's see if the Jets go back to Curtis Martin. They do. Tripped up, falls forward to about the 36.
And you know, it only makes sense because you've got to define the roles of players for your football team. So everybody in the Jets has got to know, look, Curtis Martin is going to run it for us no matter what, 20 to 25 times. And players like to know, and coaches should design plays to help the players in certain situations. So that means throw it to Wayne Corbett too on 3rd downs, and use Santana Moss and everybody else for different type of plays. Long pass plays, try to run the speed guys down the field.
Martin out as a wide receiver. Or rather in the backfield, and Martin gets the handoff, and Martin to the 30-yard line, and he'll be about 3 yards shy of a 1st down. Brock Marion made the stop.
Now, you know, that was nice. See, you get Curtis Martin in the backfield, you spread it out. It's got some space. And we've seen many times over the years, he can make you miss when he has that space.
It has been much ballyhooed by now, but Herman Edwards made a very impassioned statement to his team at the beginning of this week after suffering the blowout at the hands of the New England Patriots last Sunday. Said, we know what we want to do, and basically what they want to do is put the football in the hands, as you said earlier, of Curtis Martin.
Now they got Wayne Corbett on.
Wale Ogunleye in on Testaverde, who is sacked for the 7th time this season.
Well, they needed pressure because I was going to say, Greg, they got Wayne Corbett in motion with Zach Thomas covering him man-to-man, but Wale Ogunleye just does a good job of beating McKenzie around the edge with speed and gets the tackle for the sack.
So Matt Turk comes on to punt, and it's indicative of just how bad a day it was for the Jets last week when Matt Turk was their leading rusher with 1 carry. Off the side of his foot, bounces this one out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. It will be Miami football when we come back. Miami Dolphins head coach Dave Wannstedt, he and several others pointed out to us over the weekend here that the Dolphins, there's not a single Dolphin on the roster who was here the last time Miami lost a home game this early in the season. Jay Fiedler, pretty good against the rest of the league, but 0-4 against the New York Jets. And he'll hand it off to Ricky Williams on 1st down. Spins his way forward to almost the 20-yard line. Let's check out the Miami offensive line. Mark Dixon has moved out from guard to tackle to make room for Jamie Nails. Tim Ruddy, the anchor in the middle.
Backs and receivers for the Dolphins. Of course, you know about Ricky Williams, but Randy McDaniel, the tight end, a rookie, has really been the surprise for this Miami offense. McMichael, I should say. I said McDaniel.
There's Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator. Fiedler over the middle, in and out of the hands of Williams, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 7. A look at the Jet defense across the front line. Sean Ellis, Josh Evans, Jason Ferguson, and John Abraham. And the linebackers, Marvin Jones in the middle, Mo Lewis and Sam Coward on the outside.
Secondary for the Jets, Damian Robinson is out. John McGraw, number 38, takes his place.
Ted Cottrell is the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. Robert Edwards has come on the field now on this 3rd and 7. Fiedler throws far side, Chambers, and he's wrapped up there. John McGraw, the rookie safety out of Kansas State, 2nd-round draft pick.
Well, we talked to Herman Edwards last night, and he must have said it to us 20 times. We just got to get off the field. We got to get off the field because the defense for the Jets has been horrible on 3rd downs. In 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, that time 3 and out keeps them fresh.
Mark Royals will kick it away to Santana Moss. Nice kick coming this way and floats out of bounds, and we'll see where the spot comes down. 8:37 to play in a scoreless first quarter. It'll be the Jets' ball.
The Car Company in overdrive.
Nice day here in South Florida. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew. Line of scrimmage for the New York Jets, their own 42-yard line.
Well, we saw and we talked to Jet players last night and the coach, Herman Edwards, and this was an anxious team. They wanted to get out here and see how they were going to react to the beating they took last week from the New England Patriots, and a very positive start for them on both sides of the ball.
9 offensive plays. Martin has touched the ball 5 times so far. Testaverde, sideline, incomplete. Intended for Lavernius Coles. It'll be 2nd and 10, and let's check in with Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You talked about how the Dolphins feel so much at home in the heat in September. Well, they attribute it to something called the acclimatization factor. The fact that they practice in it all the time, that they hydrate themselves regularly, their bodies cool much more efficiently than teams that come down here on a one-shot deal and tend to wilt in the second half. And Greg, it's backed up by the statistics. The Dolphins have outscored their opponents by 192 to 100 in the second half. Back to you.
I wonder how Armin's acclimatization is going down there. 2nd and 10. On the draw, Martin. Close to midfield, about the 48 or 49-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 3 on the 7-yard pickup.
Well, Armin could stand to lose a few pounds, so I hope he does sweat a little today. But the Jets, again, spreading out 2nd down. This just makes sense. Now, the reason everybody's all up in arms because Curtis Martin didn't carry the ball the first 2 games. Now, don't forget, he got hurt in the first half against the Buffalo Bills, and they were behind against New England, so there wasn't that many chances just to keep giving the ball to Curtis Martin.
3rd and 3. David Bowens put the stops on Martin, and the punting unit will come on.
Wow, Miami, this is a team, it's not that big, but they are fast. And David Bowens, a defensive lineman, just beats it with speed. He's really just a big linebacker who plays down and did a tremendous job that time.
Number 83, A.J. Johnson, back for the punt, chasing it down at the 11-yard line and out of bounds at the 20. Curtis Martin looking for the first down. The Miami defense in the person of David Bowen says not this time. Are you winning your fantasy matchup? Get real-time scores and stats for your fantasy team at CBSSportsline.com. If you're on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Yeah, my fantasy was to do games with Greg Gumbel. I don't dream very high, but
couple of fakes in the screen to Ricky Williams. The blocker's in front of it. 25-30 out to the 33-yard line before Jason Ferguson catches up from behind. It's a first down, and just much the way the New York Jets want to get the football into the hands of Curtis Martin, that's what the Dolphins want to do with Ricky Williams.
Oh, you just got to find ways to get to the ball into the hands of people who can score. That's what Don Coryell always said. And Ricky Williams, you can see when you watch him, if you were a fan of the New Orleans Saints, Marcus Allen did a piece. He's lost 20 pounds. He's more limber, pliable, can make people miss better than I think he did in the past. And he's a very good receiver, which nobody knows.
The fake to him, the give around the side to James McKnight. McKnight turning the corner. 40, out of bounds. Is that close to a first down? About a yard short. Marvin Jones ran him out.
Well, usually you would run the reverse, then fake the reverse and throw the screen. But the Miami Dolphins, Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, they do the opposite. And this time, just a good job. James McKnight, very fast, you're a Jet defender, you've got to hesitate for a second because you see the fake to Ricky Williams. You know he's the primary focus, and that hesitation just enough to let McKnight get to the outside.
2nd and 1. Williams has the first down, close to the 45-yard line. Make no mistake about it. These Miami Dolphins are out to prove something. They have outplayed the Jets at times during this 8-game losing streak to New York and have still lost the game. And Dave Wanstead said, you know, I don't think fans wouldn't care if we went 2-14 as long as both those wins were against the Jets.
Or against the Jets. A couple things, and he said, and even the player said it, and Dave Wanstead told us too. Pat Riley came in and spoke to him on Friday, but they've been working on this for a long time, and it was like the only time Pat Riley could get here was this Friday. It just happened to be New York Jet week.
From the 45, Fiedler, play fake, time, over the middle, wide open, in and out of the hands of Oronde Gadsden.
Well, before, Greg, we've talked about that. The last play, I was going to say, if you're the New York Jets, if you start crowding the line of scrimmage, this Miami Dolphin team is going to win the battle throwing the football. So if you send that safety up, you hear it all the time, if you put one extra guy up there to stop the run, there are going to be some wide open receivers down the field, just like that time for Jay Fiedler.
Norv Turner said it. If they play the run, then those 18 to 20-yard routes have to be open.
Norv Turner loves throwing it down the field.
On the blitz, Fiedler puts it up. Intended for Chris Chambers, incomplete. Donnie Abraham with him step for step down the near sideline, and we have a marker back
Personal
on the
foul,
field.
roughing the passer. Number 57 of the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Mo Lewis guilty of roughing the passer.
Well, you know, what did I say in the first series? Herman Edwards, we got to find ways to get off the field. And oh, Lordy, well, you know, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, Mo, but it wasn't much of a hit. And they're careful with that call. I say that all the time. So you got to be extremely careful. But you would have had the Dolphins in 3rd and 10, and look at that, the penalties. The Jets committing, not only are they committing penalties, they're committing those big ones.
Costly ones, too. Here's the pitch to Ricky Williams. Turns it up inside and is hit as he crossed the 40-yard line.
Well,
rather the ball carrier, James McKnight. He picked up 3, and it's 2nd and 7.
Yeah, you knew why I knew it was James McKnight, because when somebody hit him, he just flew up in the air. That doesn't happen to Ricky Williams. But talk about the Jets defense real quick. They got to solve some problems. You know, the penalties, they got to stop the run. We asked Jason Ferguson, his job is to stop the run inside. He said they've been undisciplined, and if you watch their games, their tackling is horrendous so far this year.
Williams. To maneuver up the middle.
And you know, when you talk about this Jet defense, and I said it to Herman Edwards, and not often do I say something where the coach agrees, but he agreed with me. I said, you know, Coach, to me, the most disappointing thing about your defense is that I look at your team, the strength probably should be your defensive line. So when a team starts to run the ball on you, I go, wow, your defensive line. And he goes, absolutely. The defensive line's got to get better coordinated, be more disciplined, and do a much better job when it comes to stopping the run.
Robert Edwards in the backfield on 3rd and 3. Fiedler from the shotgun, pulls it down and goes down. Back at the 36-yard line. Brian Thomas, the rookie out of Alabama, Birmingham, and the Jets' #1 draft pick, sacked him for a 2-yard loss.
Well, it's a quick pass. They're covered down the field, and Brian Thomas, 99, comes from the top, just keeps hustling, and it's just you look at it, John Abraham, Josh Evans inside, you know, you got all the defense, then you got Thomas from the top. That's a lot of pass rushers. They should be good on defense.
Olindo Mare's only field goal attempt this season was a 28-yarder he missed last week. This one is from 53. It's long enough, and it's good. We were teasing Lindo a little bit at camp on Friday about missing that 28-yarder. He was perfect from 53 yards away. 3-0 Miami. Our aerial views today, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. It was 1960 when the Goodyear Blimp first provided live aerial coverage at the Orange Bowl. That was right here on CBS.
Just have all kinds of information.
Well, here comes the formation again that the Miami Dolphins showed at the start of the game.
They're doing this because they're afraid of Chad Morton back there. Trying to upset the Jets return team just a little.
This is Morton, and Morton will not run it out from about 4 yards deep in the end zone. So it'll be first down for the New York Jets from their own 20-yard line. 3:09 to play in the first quarter. It's Miami by 3. Pro Player Stadium, where it is a slightly different look to the Miami Dolphin defense. It's a defense that's minus the services of Patrick Surtain, one of the fine cornerbacks in the National Football League.
Boy, we heard that on Friday. We watched them practice. They're very worried. They were thin in the defensive backfield anyway. Then you lose Patrick Surtain. You worry about the Jets spreading you out and throwing the football a lot.
Surtain with a sprained left knee hasn't dressed today. They give this to Martin, right side. And it's hit hard as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Arturo Freeman, number 27.
Well, when you have a play that gets stretched out to the outside and it takes a while, usually it's not going to work because the Dolphins, they're undersized a little on defense, but they are fast, so they're going to get too many people to the football. Pretty good blocking, but finally Arturo Freeman comes up and makes the tackle.
Pick up a 4, makes it 2nd and 6. That's Richie Anderson in motion to give us to Martin again. Martin can't get around Jason Taylor. Now let's keep in mind one other thing that Zach Thomas said. Zach Thomas told us, you know, they can say all they want to that they're going to run, but if that running game doesn't work, I expect him to go back to the passing game very quickly.
Well, spoken like a true player who reads the papers and does all the scouting himself, watches the film. He's worried that the Jets are setting us up. They're just setting us up because they know our defensive backs are hurt and they're going to throw it in. No, Zach, I think the Jets are going to be extremely patient with the running game today because of what's happened the first 2 games.
3rd and 7. Quick pass over the middle. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Sean Wooden. Wooden looking for the end zone and finds it.
Well, let me tell you something else Zach Thomas told us. He said the one thing we talked about all offseason, that we were going to be more aggressive on defense. Here comes the blitz. So when you got the blitz, the Jets can't pick it up. Vinny Testaverde has to get rid of the football before he wants. And Sean Wooden, being aggressive with the coverage, gets the interception.
For the 2nd straight week, Testaverde has an interception returned for a touchdown.
You know, we heard this late last year. The Dolphins do have pretty good cover guys. We got the red flag on the field from Herman Edwards. They have pretty good cover guys. So when you have people that can cover wide receivers, why not put some pressure on them? That's why you blitz.
The Jets are challenging a ruling on the field that the player intercepted the ball and scored a touchdown. The play will be reviewed.
Our referee, Gerald Austin, as Herman Edwards has his doubts as to whether this ball was caught cleanly or not.
Well, there's so much sun here, but it looks like it was caught cleanly. Let's get another look at it. Arms are underneath him. The big thing is, too, did anybody touch him? Anthony Beck, did he touch the interceptor, Sean Wooden, as he went to the ground? It looks like a clean interception.
But it also does appear that Anthony Beck touched him. Did it come before or after the interception?
Well, yes, did it come after he had complete possession of the football? I always like it when we have these replays. Everybody in the booth looks at me and gives me their opinion. Mike, you're always wrong. Let's watch and see. Anthony Beck, he's got control. It looks like he's touching him right there. Now, just because checking to see if it's a clean catch is the first thing, but just because that's why you challenge it, they could still determine that he was down.
if he is determined down, then the line of scrimmage is back at about the Jet 25 or 26-yard line. And Gerald Austin no longer looking at pictures, he's just having a conversation.
When they do that, I don't think that's good for the Dolphins because they could be saying time clock and where is it on the field.
Well, here comes Jerry Austin.
After reviewing the play, there is an interception, but the interceptor is down by contact at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 26. The Jets will not be charged with a timeout.
Good call by Herman Edwards. Keeps the Dolphins off of the score, out of the end zone for the time being.
Well, anytime there, oh, that's a nice one when you blow the picture up. You can see it cleanly. But anytime, Greg, we talk about this all the time. If it's from the half-inch line and you have questions whether a guy scores, you challenge it because points are so hard to come by in the NFL. And Herman Edwards didn't waste any time. He threw that flag out there immediately. We had really not shown much of a replay, so somebody upstairs caught that in real live action, just thought maybe he was down.
One of the Jet coaches.
That's who I was. The thing called him.
So it's still a 3-0 Miami lead as Fiedler brings the offense to the line of scrimmage, the Jet 26. Ricky Williams. Big hole up the middle. Inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, Miami.
You know, we talked to some Jason Ferguson to be exact, a defensive lineman for the New York Jets. And he actually talked about the fact that Ricky Williams will give this offensive line, he gives them hope. He fires them up. Now they know if they just block a little, look at the blocking up front. Tremendous. Perry, Ruddy gets a good block. Rob Conrad, and a huge hole for Ricky Williams.
Double tight end now. 1st and goal for Miami. Play fake. Fiedler lofts to the end zone. Touchdown. The rookie, Randy McMichael, with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Boy, that was a pretty pass from Jay Fiedler. But again, this is new for the Miami Dolphins. Watch McMichael. Good job going inside. Gets a good angle against Marvin Jones. Easy throw for Jay Fiedler. Good design of the play, too.
So winning the challenge for the Jets only delays the touchdown. Mare's extra point is good. Jay Fiedler celebrates the Dolphins' 1st touchdown of the day. 10-0 Miami.
Take away an advantage.
Offside. Number 58 of the kicking team. 5 yards. Replay the kick.
Scott Gallion jumped the kick.
Because as Dave Wanstead said, Mike Westhoff was the special teams coach down with the Dolphins, now with the New York Jets. He loves kickoff and punt returns, he said. He just loves them. And the Jets do a good job with both. Let's see if we can see Scott Gallion. 58, that looks like him. I know that's him, ex-Giant. Oh, yeah. Half the Miami team is offsides.
There's Mike Westhoff, the ex-Dolphin special teams coach, now heading up the Jets unit.
I'll tell you what, the Buffalo Bills are going to run this play against the New York Jets next time they play. That kickoff, because every time they kicked off the Chad Morton opening game of the season, it was like, watch out. 2 touchdowns.
So now Mare will kick from his own 25. There's Chad Morton. In case you missed it opening day, he can run. The shift again. Oh, look at the foot Mare gets into this one. Morton indicates he's going to run it out of the end zone, and he does from 2 yards deep. 20 to the sideline, 30, and out of bounds. There's a penalty marker down back at the 20-yard line.
Well, you can see why you put in these little special plays on your kickoff team.
Holding. Number 33 for the return team. 10 yards, first down.
Gerald Soule's holding call will bring the Jets back. Let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back and just look at the touchdown. Here's the tight end. Going to go inside. Well, that's the running play, it looks like. Nope, I'm sorry. That was the pass play. He goes inside and just gets such a good angle on Marvin Jones that Marvin Jones does not have a chance to come out and cover the tight end.
So once again, and we talked about that with Herman Edwards, the New York Jets kill themselves with penalties. They get an advantage on the offside and then negate it. Now they're all the way back to their own 10-yard line. Martin. For a couple.
We're done.
And now a late flag falls.
Illegal block from behind. Number 83 of the offense. Half a distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
You know, Herm Edwards only talked about the penalty situation last night with half a smile on his face. He hates penalty.
Well, I just say this right now, as this first quarter's coming to an end. The Jets did not react well to the adversity last week at all. I thought they were horrible with it. They're facing it now. We'll see if they can somehow find the courage to fight back and make this a game.
First and 15. Testaverde. And he has Crabette, and Crabette makes the catch as the first quarter comes to an end. Crabette made the catch right at the first down marker. We have come to the end of one. Miami with 10 points on the board leads it. We'll come back to Pro Player Stadium after these messages. You're watching the NFL on C. Testaverde is on the field for the Jets after taking this hit in the end zone.
Jermaine Haley, number 94. Watch him roll into Vinny Testaverde. I know it's the left leg. I'm not sure if it's the knee, ankle, hip, groin. Oh, boy, that's a big man hitting you like that. And Testaverde was limping badly on the sideline, but because of the change of the quarter, it gave him more time, and he walked it off.
So on the Crabette catch, first down, Jets at their own 20. Testaverde under the gun, intercepted. Intercepted by Derek Rogers.
I was so busy watching Santana Moss run down the field wide open that I couldn't see what happened.
Testaverde unloaded in the face of the blitz from Trent Gamble.
Trent Gamble coming on the blitz makes him get rid of the football quickly. It looks like Testaverde was trying to throw it to Wayne Crabette going across the field. Oh, that's what he was doing. He just... The blitz comes, throw it to somebody short. A lot of defenders looking at Wayne Crabette. Again, the blitz by the Dolphins has created 2 interceptions.
In his last 3 passes, here's Ricky Williams. And Williams is stacked up at the 11-yard line.
And, you know, let me go back. Testaverde is not feeling good. The leg is hurting. And as a quarterback, when you're in that situation, the last thing you want to happen is to get hit. You want to get a few plays under your belt, and the Miami Dolphins, to their credit, they came with the blitz right away. Testaverde did not react well to it.
If you're not feeling tip-top, should you pull yourself?
Oh, the quarterback, you have to really be hurt to pull yourself. I mean, bad. The coach has to make that decision.
Fiedler gives to Ricky Williams again. Trying to break it outside, cuts back in, inside the 10, forward to the 7.
Funny, you talk to the Jets, and Ricky Williams has fumbled the football in the past, and you know, when you get a reputation in the National Football League, it never dies. And Jason Ferguson says to us, well, he has small hands, so we're going to rip it out of those hands. And I just go, wow, How would a defensive lineman know that Ricky Williams has small hands? But it's been said so many times that it just goes out there and nobody ever forgets it.
Williams on the sideline. Robert Edwards onto the field. On 3rd and 5. Fiedler throws. Popped up into the air. Did it fall incomplete? It is an incomplete pass. Donnie Abraham was hoping he had the pick. Probably knew in his heart that he didn't. And onto the field comes Olindo Mare.
Oh, I mean, that was a huge stand by the New York Jets defense.
Mare clicked on a 53-yarder in the first quarter. This one will be 25 yards. His kick is away, and it is perfect. The Miami Dolphins trailed in 12 of their 16 regular season games a year ago. They've not trailed yet this year. They lead 13-0. As we welcome you back, we remind you, coming up on the Nextel halftime report, Jim, Dion, Dan, Boomer have scores, highlights. It's all coming up on the Nextel halftime report. Mare with the kick. From the 18-yard line is Morton to the 30. Spins away from the tackle, breaks to the outside. Mare gives chase, and he's finally run out of bounds across the 40 by Ray Green, number 40. Let's go down to Army Katayan.
Thanks, Greg. Phil, to follow up on your comment on Pat Riley, the thrust of his message to the team was about a half-an-hour talk. Is a lot of teams have talent. The difference is in the heart. He said when you start to equate winning with taking your last breath, when it's as important as staying alive, that's what separates the very best from the rest. And as you can see, we've all seen the Dolphins are playing with that sense of urgency right now. Back to you, Greg.
Pat Riley is a motivator. I ran into him as I walked through the front door, and after talking to him for a while, I couldn't wait for you to arrive.
Yeah. Well, it's about the truth, Armin. That's why older players, it's all about winning to them. That's why the teams that have a little age sometimes play so well.
Pass out here to Richie Anderson is complete, out of bounds, and we'll check in with Jim Nance at the NFL Today in New York. Jim.
All right, Greg, how about this up at Foxborough? Kansas City has outplayed the Patriots. They picked Tom Brady. They've held the Patriots to only 24 yards, and Green hooks up with Kinnison. It's 10-0 KC. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
Those New England Patriots who have looked so dominating so far this season, Kansas City's jumped on top. 2nd and 4. Martin across midfield, short of the first down. New York Jets on offense, starting at their own 35, 42, 20, and 10. A couple of punts and a couple of interceptions. They're looking now at a 3rd and 1.
I'm sorry, Greg. 2 blitzes, though, by Miami. 2 turnovers by the New York Jets. And we heard it from Testaverde, Kevin Mawai, that Miami, hey, they don't do anything. They're very vanilla. It's the same defense they've seen for many, many years, but a little change up today maybe caught the Jets by surprise.
Lamont Jordan, play fake to him. Testaverde holding on, and now down the middle of the field, it is incomplete. Sam Madison on Santana Moss, and there is a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. The initial call is holding against Miami.
Holding, number 29 of the defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Let's watch Sam Madison against Santana Moss, top of your screen. Oh, boy. Wasn't that bad. A little holding down the field, too. But you saw, right at the beginning of the play, Sam Madison got caught looking into the backfield. And when you're covering somebody as fast as Santana Moss, I don't think you should be peeking.
I would say, how about all of that time that Testaverde created for himself with the play fake, and still Sam Madison was there stride for stride with Santana Moss.
We saw it, Greg. We've done many Dolphin games. We see it. We study them somewhat, and there's no surprise. Sam Madison's really good.
Testaverde, this time going to go deep again. Goes down, and another flag flies. This one is on Jamar Fletcher.
Now that's where I would throw it. I'm surprised the Jets have not thrown at Jamar Fletcher more in this game.
Pass interference, 21 defense, automatic first down.
And there's a couple reasons. Look to the left side of your screen. You'll see Santana Moss against Jamar Fletcher. 21, the hand fighting. When you put that arm in front of the receiver, that is the easiest call in the world. And everybody goes, well, it's not that bad. Well, think of it this way. You're running down having a race. What would it be like if somebody stuck an arm in front of you? Well, you'd lose the race. And that's what happens to wide receivers.
Jet penalties have killed them in this game, but now 2 Miami penalties have advanced the Jets inside the Miami 20-yard line. Jordan and Soule in the backfield. This is Lamont Jordan following Soule around the left side. Inside the 10, diving toward the 5-yard line.
Nice block on the outside by Wayne Corbett. When you see big runs by a running back, it takes the offensive line, of course. But to make it happen, you need blocks down the field. And Lamont Jordan, did he look a little fast? How'd you like to get in front of that? Big, fast. Wayne Corbett, number 80, look at that. Got his hands inside, that's acceptable.
Line of scrimmage is the Miami 6. First and goal for the Jets. Jordan, the lone back. He'll get the handoff. May have gotten a yard.
You know, Greg, I want to go back to what the Jets, when they throw the ball, though. Why you pick on Jamar Fletcher, a couple reasons. One, he's young. 2, you got a choice. Now, you're a quarterback. You know, you got to pick your poison, whatever you want. Well, you don't want to go against Sam Madison, do you, and try to make a living? So you have to go to Jamar Fletcher. And last week, the Indianapolis Colts, Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning threw almost every ball at him. And what it does, it gets into the head of a defensive back. My gosh, what are they going to do next? So that's why I say the Jets should be throwing his way.
Fletcher is on Jordan at the bottom of your screen. Testaverde throws incomplete. Was hit from behind just as he released. Intended for Corbett.
Well, it's just Jason Taylor. Good speed. Jason Fabini's blocking him. J.P. Machado can't even get out there in time to help out.
3rd and goal. Lamont Jordan goes to the sideline. Curtis Martin back into the lineup. And remember, Martin is an excellent receiver. Play clock is down to 5. And Testaverde has to call timeout. 10:19 to play. First half. Jets trying to find the end zone right after this. Carefully, you can see Phil Simms' toes picking out of that sandcastle.
Yeah, I'm a beach guy. I love the beach.
3rd and goal. Curtis Martin in the backfield behind Testaverde. He goes in motion. Penalty marker. This doesn't count. That interception doesn't count.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 88 offense, 5 yards, it's still 3rd down.
That's Beck, the tight end.
I know if I was the New York Jets and I was sitting up top, I would say do the same play and run the quarterback draw. There is nobody. Well, no, you couldn't do it now if they're 10 yards out. There was nobody to account for the quarterback. Nobody was even close to being inside the hash marks.
Remember last week against Indianapolis, the Miami defense kept Indy out of the end zone on 4 drives inside the 10-yard line. Pass inside the 5, that's complete to Anderson, and Anderson reaches the 2 or the 3 thereabouts. And Herm Edwards is going to send the field goal unit on.
Oh, absolutely. No decision. Send them in. Dolphins, good job at defense that time. They were willing to let the Jets catch the football in front of them, have enough guys there to make the tackle.
This will be a 20-yard attempt for John Hall. And from 45 yards in, he has been automatic. And that one is good. And at 9:34 to play in the first half, the Jets finally dent the scoreboard. Miami 13, the New York Jets 3. Herman Edwards says, well, maybe a 20-yard field goal has the Jets on the board. Miami with a 13-3 lead as they prepare to receive the kick. 83, Albert Johnson. 44, Rob Conrad are deep. This one deep into the end zone, and they will not run this one out. And so the Dolphins will take over first down at their own 20-yard line. We'll take this opportunity to tell you celebrities, athletes, and actors love the game of football. Each week, NFL.com spotlights their stories. This week, Ethan Zahn, winner of Survivor Africa, talks about growing up a Patriots fan and why he loves football only at NFL.com or America Online. Enter keyword NFL.com. You know Ethan, don't you, Phil?
I do. I know everybody, Greg.
You haven't a clue, have you?
I know I do.
Nice guy. 9:34 to play. First half. And a little movement up front. A little shoving here and there, and that includes big Jason Ferguson.
71 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Of course, when we say big, the guy guilty of that penalty, Todd Wade, is a massive human being.
Gosh.
Todd, in his third year out of Ole Miss, only goes 6'8", 325.
Yeah, and he is in great shape. Kind of thin looking when he's being 6'8", if you can say that about somebody who weighs 325, but having a good year.
Ricky Williams. Jason Ferguson with the tackle, and you know there are a couple of these Miami Dolphins who have come in lighter than usual.
Yeah, you know, Greg, we talked about this a couple years ago. There was a few players around the league who lost weight and they were being more productive, but probably the number one mistake most NFL players make, they think bigger is better, and when it's not, because you got to carry that extra weight, you get tired easier, you're not as fast, and all of them are finding out. Ricky Williams, he's lighter. Larry Chester, defensive lineman, much lighter. Jamie Nails, the big one, left guard.
Fiedler pumps wide open down the middle of McMichael. McMichael to midfield, still going to the Jet 47-yard line. 36-yard pickup on the play.
This is a play that the New England Patriots ran. Watch it come up the seam, the fake this way, and look at the big hole that Jay Fiedler is going to see up the middle of the field. New England ran something. I looked at you and said, Greg, am I right? I said, I know the Miami Dolphins are going to run this play because it just looked too good last week, and they do it, and the tight end is wide open.
First down Miami at the Jet 47. Fiedler down the sideline. Oh, what a catch, but he's out of bounds. Oronde Gadsden with the circus catch along the sideline. Couldn't keep it in bounds. It'll be second down.
Well, you know, we had a laugh. We were talking to Norv Turner on Friday, too, the new offensive coordinator for the Dolphins, and I said, okay, are you getting your, what he calls, shots down the field? He really believes scoring in the NFL is about making big plays. And, of course, the easiest way to make big plays is in the passing game. But he says, no, the players are getting impatient. They made all the big plays in training camp and some of the preseason games. But so far this year in the games, they have not had those shots down the field.
Fiedler throws, screen this side, Dedrick Ward. Ward inside the 45 to the 42. Dedrick Ward, the ex-New York Jet. Spent 4 seasons in the green and white uniform of the Jets. This is his second year in Miami.
Yeah, and he's found a nice little role for himself in this offense, too. The third wide receiver in most of their offensive sets, and had a very good training camp. And the Dolphins and North Turner, they do a good job. They make you defend all the players. They just don't throw the ball to one receiver all the time. They throw it to everybody.
This is a 3rd and 5 for Fiedler. Running out of time. Still on his feet, and now gets hit and goes down at about the 42 or 41-yard line. Jason Ferguson spun out of the pack and made the stop, along with John Abraham.
Well, the Jet defense much better today than they were in the first two games. Just as Coach Herman Edwards would say, just getting off the field, and everybody hustling on the defensive line. Jason Ferguson, John Abraham make the sack.
Coming up on 6.5 minutes to play. Mark Royals lofts it up, bounces at the 1, and goes into the end zone. Boy, he put it down right where he wanted to, but he just didn't get the bounce. And now there's a runner coming out of the end zone.
It's okay. It's a freebie. You got to make sure the football is dead. The Dolphins touch it, but it's still rolling around. And Chad Morton knows it's a free opportunity for him to pick it up and run with it. And if he would have fumbled it, they would still get it back unless there was a penalty. The Jets had touched it. The ball's still moving around. He goes, hey, he knows the rules. Pick it up. Nothing bad can really happen. Unless you fumble it and there's a penalty on your side. There is a penalty on the field, too.
Just for good measure. Gerald Austin and his crew going over the ramifications and will now share them with us. Maybe.
He's teasing you.
We have illegal substitutions on the receiving team. Players came on the field before the ball was blown dead. We had a touchback. Therefore, it's a 5-yard penalty from the 20-yard line. It'll be the Jets' ball, 1st and 10 from the 15.
Oh, premature charge off the Jet bench cost them 5 yards, 6:19 to play here in the first half. 15-yard line. Curtis Martin, Richie Anderson behind Testaverde. Martin, left side. Across the 20. Almost, let's see, that looks to be close enough to be a first down.
Yeah, you know, the Jets, Greg, we said it many times, they're going to stay with this running game. If you know, talking to Kevin Mawai last night, he made a good point. You know, linemen are just like quarterbacks. Quarterbacks like to throw the football to get in rhythm. Offensive linemen like to keep running the ball so they can get in the rhythm of how to block their guy and just get physical. And the Jets haven't had that rhythm so far this year, so you got to have some 1-yard gains and stay with the running game.
Curtis Martin, 29 rushing yards today, came into this game with 11, and he's going to try to add some more here. He adds a couple out to almost the 28-yard line. Derek Rogers with the stop. And the Jets are doing something today they certainly didn't do a week ago, and that was give their defense a chance to rest. We mentioned it earlier that in the first 2 games of this season, the Jets have seen 150 offensive plays by the opposition, and today Miami has only run off 20.
You know, the stats are staggering. When you stay on the field for a certain number of plays in the National Football League, no matter how good your defense is, the points you start giving up after a certain amount of plays, like 60, it's incredible. So the Jets giving up 75 a game.
Testaverde throws. That's Anderson out of the backfield. And Anderson ridden out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Yeah, to be exact, Herman Edwards says once you get over about 62 plays on defense, something bad is going to happen to you.
That's right. You're going to probably lose that game. It means the other team is dominating you. You're going to get tired, and offenses do not get tired in the sense that a defense does. And look at that. Most in the National Football League so far after 2 games.
The Jets looking at a 3rd down and 1. Converted their first 2 third down opportunities, have missed on their last 4. They pick up the blitz. Testaverde throwing down the field. Trebek out of bounds, incomplete.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like to second-guess coaches, but you're running the ball pretty good. Your guys are getting physical, and it's really just 3rd and 1. And you have a play, I'm sure it looked great during the week practicing, But the reality was that the Dolphins were all over it. I would have absolutely ran the football.
Royal barely gets the kick away. Albert Johnson from the 23. And swarmed under at about the 27-yard line. Jason Glenn leading the charge. 43-yard kick and a 5-yard return. And tomorrow's Premiere Monday here on CBS. Don't miss the new show everyone's been waiting for, when the network that brought you CSI takes you to a whole new world of crime scene investigation. CSI Miami premieres Monday at 9 Central Time here on CBS.
So I'm not going to call you this week. If this is like premiere week.
You can call.
No.
I just
you
won't
won't
answer.
That's right. Because everybody out there, Greg Gumbel watches every show on TV. Not only does he watch them, he recites the lines back to us.
True.
Oh, it is true. Well, what don't you watch?
Crossfire.
Well,
I miss Crossfire all the time. 4:01 to play in the first half.
His nickname is Nielsen.
Dolphins from their own 27. Jets on the blitz. Fiedler under the gun and gets rid of it.
Outside the, he's going to call it.
Gerald Austin took a look and I guess decided that he wasn't quite outside.
No, he was outside, but the quarterback has to get the ball to or near the line of scrimmage, and maybe he decided that wasn't close enough to the line of scrimmage.
There's no foul on the play. Number 44 was in the vicinity.
There you go. And
second down.
Watch Robert Conrad. Here's all he has to get outside of that. Conrad is there. He's covered. And, you know, Jay Fiedler was trying to throw it actually a little closer than that, I'm sure, but it's hard to be real accurate when you got two big guys chasing you.
Yes.
That's a big play. I mean, that avoids almost a certain 3 plays and out.
2nd and 10. Conrad in motion this time. And Fiedler gives to Ricky Williams. Williams running room up the middle out to about the 34. Williams and Conrad are 2 of the guys that Norv Turner refers to. He says we've got a bunch of second chance guys on this team. And he puts Ricky Williams in that category, and also Rob Conrad, because he can find some uses for him that Conrad hasn't had before.
Well, he's letting Rob Conrad catch some footballs. Norv Turner, to refresh fans' memory, he was down in Dallas when they had Moose Johnson and they threw the football out to the fullback, and he said he wants to do that here, and they do put him out. He caught a touchdown pass last week, and they take care and use a fullback in this style of offense.
3rd and 3. Fiedler steps up, throws the middle, incomplete. Threw it behind Chris Chambers, his intended receiver.
The fact that he had to move up in the pocket threw off the timing just enough where Jay Fiedler threw it behind Chris Chambers. So John Abraham again, all you get for something like that is a pat on the back from the coach. Yeah, nice job.
Exactly what he got. Santana Moss, University of Miami graduate, back at his own 25. Nice high floater. Penalty marker is down. Moss from the 26, up the sideline, and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. And now let's check the flag. It's against the Jets. Another killer penalty against the Jets.
Holding number 99 of the receiving team during the kick. 10 yards from the spot where possession changed. First down the Jets.
Brian Thomas guilty of the penalty.
Well, Greg, we just got a second here, so we're just going to go. This Jets-Miami Dolphin rivalry, one of the big plays in this rivalry. You saw it in the pregame today. We already, like, oh, it's Boomer Esiason. Oh, he's in the end zone before he dives, but such a leader. Look at this, though. His teammates are so happy, nobody even comes to congratulate him. Ah, shoot. Boomer.
That's the last time prior to the month of October that the Dolphins have lost here at home, and it was to the Jets.
Yeah. Is that Boomer's only touchdown of his career, I wonder? You know, running. Hell, everybody fell down so he could get in the end zone. And I thought I was slow. I love you, Boomer.
Jets backed up now, starting from their own 16-yard line. Testaverde steps up with time, throws, overthrows his intended receiver, Richie Anderson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, he went for the big play, but Vinny Testaverde had Lamont Jordan right in front of him, who would have took a short pass and probably gained about 10 to 15 yards. But he went for the big play down the field. It was there. The throw was just off the mark.
You know, we asked Herman Edwards last night about the shots that you take down the field, and I think the Jets have taken as many this game as they have so far this season.
Oh, absolutely. The first 2 games, they just didn't force it down the field. You can't force it.
Quick pass to Corbett. Corbett buried at the 20-yard line.
But when you get in certain situations as an offense, which they've done twice today, 3rd and short, they've tried to get the big plays by catching Miami off guard, and Miami has been ready for both.
Well, when Herman Edwards, as you look upstairs, the Jet brain trust, Paul Hackett, when the Jets look at themselves at halftime, I think they're going to find that they've pretty much accomplished some of the things that they wanted to coming in. Getting the ball into the hands of Curtis Martin more often than not, and also getting Wayne Corbett involved.
Yeah, that, and the defense has been getting off the field. The turnovers and just not sustaining enough on offense is what's hurt them.
3rd and 6. Out into the flat. Lamont Jordan is dragged down at the 18-yard line by Sam Madison, who had that one played perfectly. 1:57 to play. We'll take the 2-minute warning here. The Jets will be kicking when we come back. 13-3 Miami.
Just in fun because we like him so much. But Boomer is right. I am too. I am sick of seeing that fake spike play. I mean, come on. I just figure I might as well make everybody mad at me in the studio.
Jerome Bettis will be with the gang as well. Nice kick by Matt Turk. Here's A.J. Albert Johnson down at the 28-yard line. Nice tackle by Nick Ferguson. 65-yard punt and a 13-yard return.
A little downwind that way, but you and A.J., huh? You're on a first-name basis with A.J. I like that. That's what you were doing in practice the other day. You were talking to everybody. At least you were outside watching it. If it would have been like in New England in another month, we'll go there and watch practice. Greg will sit in the car because it's cold. I don't want to get outside.
It was chilly.
Hey, it's hot down here, you know, and I burn like a wild man. But I got out. I had 40 sunblock on Friday, and I still got sunburned.
That's the equivalent of cedar, isn't it? Direct snap to Robert Edwards, and Edwards straight ahead across the 30 to the 33. It looked like pretty much the same play that the New England Patriots used last week against the Jets.
Yeah, most teams have that play in.
In the hurry-up mode, Fiedler throwing far side of the field, and that's complete and out of bounds to Chris Chambers.
Wow, nice throw by Jay Fiedler. Josh Evans and John Abraham just crushed him as he let go of the football, and he threw it right on target.
So Miami now looking at a 3rd and 2.
And I watched Josh Evans. He hit Jay Fiedler, and he knew he was there right on time, and he got up and just shook his head because it just infuriates a defensive lineman to get a good clean shot on the quarterback and have him still complete the pass.
Big 3rd and 2 here for the Dolphins. Fiedler out into the flat. That's complete, and that's enough for the first down to Edwards. Boy, what a story Robert Edwards is. Dislocated left knee back in 1999 as a member of the Patriots. He missed the entire 99 and 2000 seasons, and then ultimately waived by New England last season, and really has made the full road back.
Yeah, he's done a good job, but I think he just got hurt in that last play. Maybe he just fell on the football and got his breath knocked out, or it looks like his ribs or somewhere in that area. But yeah, the Dolphins, he's very good on 3rd downs, catches the ball, good blocker in the backfield too.
From the shotgun, Fiedler, little flip over the middle. Ricky Williams shakes one tackler across midfield and dives and reaches for first down. Timeout on the field. 69 seconds to play in the first half. Miami looking for more.
Well, it's, you know, Greg, we talk about, last night we were talking to Herman Edwards too. I'm going to find this stat out, too. I'm going to work at this. But when you get a first down, just like the Dolphins, 3rd and 3, they pick up that big first down. It gives you rhythm, and it's amazing how many times it leads to a score.
Fiedler throws incomplete. Dedrick Ward should have had it at the 30-yard line.
Oh, there's no doubt. See a replay of this. Watch Dedrick Ward's eyes. Watch the helmet. Oh, he took it off at the last second because he saw Aaron Beasley coming. Watch the helmet of Dedrick Ward. You could see him turn to his right, and it's these pro wide receivers. They're so good at catching the ball. The only way they can drop it is to take their eye off of it.
We count 3 drops by Miami receivers so far today. 1:03 to play.
And Jay Fiedler took another big hit on that last play.
Fiedler now throws. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Oronde Gadsden!
Oh, God.
Timeout stops the clock with 52 seconds to play.
Oronde Gadsden, we've talked to him many times, and we made fun of the fact, that is unbelievable. But he has the biggest pair of hands of any wide receiver in the National Football League, and they came to use that time.
It'll be on every highlight reel in America tonight.
Well, you know what? It deserves to be, because it probably, let's look at it one more time, because it probably stopped a sure interception for the New York Jets. Jay Fiedler was pressured. He was pressured. The ball gets away from him just a little bit, and Nick Ferguson is standing behind. Here he comes. 25. He's going to make the catch. Look at him. Oh, I got it. No, you don't. Oh, that is really, that makes up for Dedrick Ward dropping one before.
A week ago in Indianapolis, early in the game, Oronde Gadsden crossing the field dropped a really easy one, and his mom called him. He said he hasn't dropped a pass like that since he was in 7th grade.
Oh, I tell you, there's a lot of coaches out there. See, even the mother's coach.
And now, running out of time on the play clock, Jay Fiedler burns Miami's 3rd and final timeout.
They can't call a timeout. They just came off of one.
So that backs the Miami Dolphins up now to the 31-yard line.
You got to remember, timeouts, penalties, the play clock is only 25. It's not, it's not longer. And sometimes the quarterbacks, you got that rhythm thinking, well, I got more time, and all of a sudden, it's too late.
So Miami still has one timeout to use here in the last 52 seconds. Fiedler fakes to Williams, throws over the middle to Conrad, and Conrad to the 25. Clock continues to move, 40 seconds to play in the half. Fiedler, far side, incomplete, overthrew Randy McMichael, the rookie tight end. And that stops the clock with half a minute to play.
Isn't it amazing, that 5-yard penalty, how it just disrupted the rhythm of this drive for the Miami Dolphins? They still have 30 seconds, 3rd and 10 yards, 1 timeout.
Do you go for the end zone, or do you set up your field goal?
Oh, you just try to get, Greg, you just try to get some yards here. If it happens to get you a first down, that's good. You're thinking field goal for sure.
Fiedler got rid of it as his man, and that's caught by Dedrick Ward inside the 15-yard line. It's a first down for Miami.
And of course, if you can get the first down and get out of bounds, now you take the shots in the end zone. This is just Jay Fiedler making a move outside, and Dedrick Ward watching. Gonna step, and he sees Jay Fiedler move. He moves out to the open spot. Good job of communication between the wide receiver and the quarterback. When he moves, you got to break your route and move with him.
Good numbers for Fiedler on the drive. First down, Jet 13. Fiedler looks left, end zone, overthrows everybody, intended again for McMichael. He was well covered. 18 seconds left.
And the big advantage the Jets have in a situation like this, hey, just keep them out of the end zone now. It's a drop back, let them complete it, but if you keep it in the field of play, the best they're going to do is just get a field goal out of it.
Miami's red zone offense today. 2 possessions, 10 points.
They have been very good inside the 20 so far this year.
Fiedler throws it away. 3rd and 10, 12 seconds to go. Remember, we were talking with Zach Thomas on Friday, and I asked him, when a team gets in close, as far as a defender goes, you know, how do you feel about that? Is it to your advantage? Is it to their advantage with less room? And I think Zach basically said, oh, it kind of depends on how good you are.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with a lot of things in this league. But, you know, when you get in a situation like this, do you have a formation? Do you have a play that somehow can confuse or fool the defense to give you at least a chance to find that seam to throw the football? Hard to do.
3rd and 10. Fiedler throws for the end zone. Incomplete. What a hit. McGraw, the rookie, laid on the intended receiver, Chris Chambers.
And Jay Fiedler did the right thing. He basically throws it away. McGraw's going to come from the center of the screen. Well, I'll tell you what, that was close. Almost being too late.
So Olindo Mare will line this one up from 31 yards out. Gets it away. Oh, he hooked it to the left. Olindo Mare is automatic from that distance, except on this occasion with 2 seconds to play in the first half.
Well, we're talking about some bad vibes now going in at halftime. Getting down inside the 20-yard line a couple times, not getting touchdowns, and I don't know if it's a big deal, but kicking off this dirt, I've played down here as a player, and you see, of course, you can see the infield, the Florida Marlins. I always hated it. So I'm sure kickers don't like it either.
Phil, that's the first time in 3 years that Olindo Mare has missed field goals in back-to-back weeks. Testaverde takes the knee. Time runs out here in the first half. And the Dolphins, who feel that they should be leading 16-3, are only up 10. Let's go down to Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Dave, a tough ending to the first half. How does that play into your message, especially since the the Jets have outscored you 45-0 in the last 3 games of the second half?
Oh, I wasn't aware of that, and I could really care less, to be honest with you, Armin. It's a 4-quarter game. We got to come out and play good the second half, and we will. I mean, we've moved the ball. I mean, this is going to come down to the 4th quarter. I mean, the team that can finish, and we feel good. We're moving the ball and playing good defense.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Greg.
Armin, thank you. That is the end of the first half. The Miami Dolphins lead the New York Jets by a score of 13-3. Jim Nantz.
Show your pride. Call 1-877-NFL-SHOP or go to NFL Shop on NFL.com for the biggest selection of NFL gear. For a free team catalog, call 1-877-NFL-SHOP.
Phil Simms, and at the break, who has the advantage? Who do you think, other than on the scoreboard, which team is feeling good about itself?
Well, the Jets, I think, should feel like, hey, they're fortunate to make 2 big turnovers and everything they did wrong and only be down 13-3. And they got to thank their defensive line. They've pressured Jay Fiedler. Miami, on the other hand, they've had many chances to make the plays on offense, and especially down the field. But pressure from the Jet defensive line has kept Jay Fiedler from making the throws.
In many respects, it was not a pretty first half. There were 11 penalties in all. Neither team converting many 3rd downs, but there you see the numbers. And the Miami Dolphins with a big 10 points off of turnovers. It'll be the Dolphins with the football to start this second half. John Hall getting set to kick it away to AJ, Albert Johnson, and number 44, Rob Conrad. Jerome Bettis looking very comfortable in our studio in New York, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Dressed very nice.
Oh, you got to dress.
You know, for a big running back that runs people over, you know, you just wouldn't expect him to do that. Would you? You know, you just don't expect that.
Johnson will not run this out of the end zone. And the Dolphins will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. Let's check in with Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, Herman Edwards told us last night, he said he wanted his team to fight and play better. I talked to him, and he said, that's exactly what we're doing. I'm feeling good about that. We've overcome some adversity in the first half. As you said, Phil, only down by 10. One thing to watch for, teams coming out of that locker room, out of that air conditioning, have a tendency to wilt right in front of them in the 3rd quarter here, Greg. Back
All right,
to you.
Armin, thanks. Boy, how many times did Herman Edwards say, I just want us to go out and play well. He said, I told my players, don't even look at the scoreboard. He said, just at the end of the game, I'll tell you what the score was.
If you look at the scoreboard, I'm taking you out. But you're right, he didn't even talk about the Dolphins a lot in his speech this week. He just talked about us.
Big movement up front forces the fumble. The Jets say they have the ball. Let's see who the penalty is on.
I'm pretty sure it's against the Jets.
Boy, Jason Ferguson was across that line in a hurry, wasn't he?
Offside, defense, 5 yards, and still 1st down.
Watch Jason Ferguson, number 72. Oh boy, that, you know, he's definitely offsides in the neutral zone and all that, but that was pretty good timing. He just was a fraction early. But Greg, you know, going back to Herman Edwards, and I think he was right in saying this. They've outscored Miami. Look at that in the last 3 meetings. He just talked about his team. He wasn't worried so much, like you said, about the opposition. Just think of what you got to do, no matter who you're playing, and that would serve the Jets well.
Ricky Williams with the carry. Sean Ellis making the stop.
And one other point, Armin, last point about coming out of that locker room. We did the game here last year, almost at the same time, the Oakland Raiders, and for the first time ever, you know, you hear all that, the heat, and it's always a factor. That's what the Dolphins like to tell you. We saw the Oakland Raiders visibly get tired when the 4th quarter started last year.
This will be a 2nd and 3 from the 27.
I'm going. Yeah.
Williams spins away from the first tackler, can't elude the second. Sam Cowart was the second tackler, and it'll be a loss of 1, and they're looking at a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, but the guy that does it all is the big man, 72. Watch him. Just for as big as Jason Ferguson is, he's quick. He gets in the backfield, ruins the play, and then Sam Cowart makes the tackle. And, you know, Jason Ferguson, hey, what did he say? What's your job? He goes, my job's to plug it up. And that's what he's got to do. Just like an offensive lineman, he has to do well to let the little guys behind him have success.
Dolphins need the 30-yard line for a 1st down. Fiedler will throw for it, and he's got it. McMichael across the 35 out to the 39-yard line. What an impressive young man this tight end from Georgia is, a 4th-round draft pick.
It is a nice pickup by the New York Jets. I do not think the Jets can blitz the Miami Dolphins and expect, they might get there every once in a while, but to win that battle. Norv Turner knows how to pick up the blitz everywhere he's been. He believes in protecting the quarterback first, and I think the Dolphins wide receivers are too good for the Jets to cover man-to-man down the field.
This will be Ricky Williams straight ahead. Off the side of center Tim Ruddy for a couple. Sam Cowart making the stop after a 5-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
You know, I got to go back to Jason Ferguson. We were talking about him, and we had a chance to talk to him last night. It was pretty funny. You know, he talked 305 pounds, talking everything is wrong in the defense, but you know you're a big guy when you go fishing. And when you catch the fish, you eat them immediately.
Right there.
You know, it's just a big man. Only big people can do something like that.
Off the line, into the skillet. Here comes the blitz. Ricky Williams pulls his way across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. They'll be about a yard shy of a 1st down.
You know, I always think when you get a situation like this right now, it's about 3rd and let's just say a short 2 yards, about a yard and a half. As a coach, you just got to go, hey, let's run it. And if we don't make it, it's close, we'll run it again on 4th down and pick it up. Because you're near midfield, sometimes that's where you take a chance and go for it on 4th down.
third down play is the reverse. Chris Chambers. Chambers gets a block from Fiedler. Midfield, first down to the Jet 46.
Wow. You know, most of the time, quarterbacks make these blocks, and it's just, so what? Because it's so easy. But that time, Jay Fiedler, good athlete, does a good job. Watch the quarterback as he comes down. Sam Garnes is a big man, but watch. Gets in position, turns, and makes that block. I tell you, that's pretty good. Because Sam Garnes read the play. He was up in the backfield, had a chance to stop it.
And especially from a quarterback, all the coach is going to ask is just get in someone's way.
Yeah, that was a little more than that. He had to get more than getting away.
First down, Dolphins from the Jet 47. Fiedler, play fake, going to go deep, down the middle, looking for Chambers, overthrows everybody. Donnie Abraham right there with Chambers.
Yeah, I was going to say, Donnie Abraham, they get him singled up that time. And, well, go ahead. You talk about it. We talked about the fact that he gets a lot of interceptions.
You asked him what kind of a corner he was. He said, I'm a well-balanced corner.
Well-balanced, he says, but I don't scare anybody. You see that 22 interceptions since 1998, ties for the most in the league. He says that that's why people throw at me. They're just not scared of me, so I get a chance to make those interceptions.
Fiedler, 2nd and 10. Quick out is incomplete. Oronde Gadsden on this side of the field, and now the Dolphins are looking at a 3rd and 10.
Well, Jay Fiedler made the mistake that a lot of quarterbacks make. You're on the left hash. You got short patterns. You go, well, let me take the easiest throw to the left side. So Oronde Gadsden was covered, where Chris Chambers, your fastest, probably your most talented wide receiver, Donnie Abraham, showing him a lot of respect to the top. Even though it's a longer throw, he was wide open.
Chambers again at the top of the screen. Gadsden at the bottom. Fiedler throws over the middle, incomplete. Off the hands of Gadsden. And the punting unit will come on.
You know, the throwing, the catching, the protection, it's just not happening so far really today for the Miami Dolphins. As I said after halftime, the plays are there to be made. The protection breaks down. Fiedler's a little off target. Receiver drops the ball. A lot of reasons.
Fiedler is 1 for his last 7 throwing the ball. Big high bounce. Tana Moss is going to let it roll, and it's going to roll to a stop at the 11-yard line. We said it at the beginning of the day. One of the best rivalries in the NFL. Hard hitting, you betcha. 13-3 Miami.
NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Well, as the Jets go back on offense, you see a look at their offensive leaders here so far today. You know they're trying to regain a little momentum and also give their defense a chance to catch their breath on the sideline. Testaverde throws, quick slant, Lavernius Coles out to the 19-yard line. Miami's defense has done a pretty good all-around job so far today. First of all, on the run, look at Zach Thomas zero in on Curtis Martin. And once again, Martin the focus, and then the 2 interceptions that Testaverde has thrown and been under intense pressure. Lavernius Coles with his first reception in 2 weeks. 2nd and 1. Martin across the 20 to the 23-yard line, and the Jet first down. Wale Ogunleye with the tackle, and so the Jets have accomplished the first thing, to at least let their defense rest on the sideline and move the chains.
Yeah, but again, as I watch this Jets offense, they execute a lot of plays pretty well. But it's 5 yards, it's 6 yards. They're trying to get it down, but there's just no big plays to give you those scoring opportunities.
Quick pass to the flat. And across the 25 to the 28 or 29 is Richie Anderson.
Well, when you're the middle linebacker for the Miami Dolphins, watch Zach Thomas. Recognizes the screen right away, cuts under the blocker and comes in from behind to get on the tackle with quite a few players. Derek Rogers, Jason Taylor, and him.
How incredible was it talking to him and find out a guy from Texas had never been on a horse?
Yeah, I know, that was pretty funny.
He said, Zach, I'm not from Texas. I've been on a horse. Merry-go-round kind, but on 2nd and 4, Testaverde to throw. Steps up, under pressure, throws incomplete. Markers fly in the secondary.
Let's see what the call is, but let me tell you, Santana Moss is so open. That's why pressure on the quarterback.
Illegal hands to the face, 42 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
That foul is on Trent Gamble.
Let's watch the receiver go across the field, Santana Moss. Tell me if you think he's open. Is he going to be open? The defender turned, everybody's running all by himself. On that play, it's a national pass. Everybody in the NFL runs it. That is the primary receiver. Twice today, Santana Moss has been wide open down the field, but the Jets have been unable to get the football to him.
First down, New York. They're on 34. Mark with blockers ahead of him around the right side. Oh, and he's cut down at the 36-yard line. And again, Zach Thomas just zooming in on him from his middle linebacker position.
You know, you got to laugh because it is kind of funny. When he just sees it, it is just like disaster. He's either going to make the play or get blown up and just runs through. Look at that. Derek Rogers is there, but Zach almost pushes him out of the way to get the play himself. But good job stringing the play out. The Dolphins defense is designed for Zach Thomas to run and make those plays, and today he's doing it pretty well.
Phil, you're talking about lack of big play. The Jets' longest play today has been 15 yards.
Well, they had a pass interference call, I think, for 25 yards. Blitz.
Testaverde over the middle. Nice catch for Bet out to midfield and a first down.
You know, nice job picking it up by Vinny Testaverde or the offense. Wayne Corbett coming across the field. And that's what you look for in this league. We talked about it. You have Wayne Corbett in the slot, has the whole field to work with, and you have a backup player, Trent Gamble's guarding him. You got to like your chances. And that's where I think the Dolphins are really suspect, is the backup defensive backs.
The Jets at midfield. Curtis Martin. A yard. Maybe 2.
Well,
2nd and 8.
You know, the Jets, just to talk about Herman Edwards, let's get an identity, and you know what? They're not going to establish this identity in 1 week. It takes a while. It takes practices and games and but they got to get back. They're giving Curtis Martin his chances. You just keep handing it to him. You've got to do it. And your team will get in the rhythm, or it will toughen up to get good at running the football again.
This is Lamont Jordan. Jordan, no place to go. Wrapped up by Jason Taylor. Let's check back into New York. NFL Today update with Jim Nance. Jim.
All right, Greg, Troy Brown has already caught 14 passes in this game. That's a single-game record for the Patriots and hauls in that touchdown. Antoine Smith runs successfully for the 2 to tie it at 17 in the 3rd. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim, thank you. Loss of 3 on that last play has the Jets looking at 3rd and 11. Testaverde with time, overthrows his intended receiver, Corbett. And on comes the punting unit. You know, it's interesting, go back to what you said a few moments ago, Phil, about this isn't going to happen in 1 week. Herm Edwards pointed out that it took his defense fully 6 weeks of last season to come together, and when it finally did, it was very good.
Yes, that's right. They were very good for quite a stretch there last year.
Nice kick by Matt Turk. Going to bounce at the 10, and the Jets are going to nail it inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So that's where Miami will start after the 43-yard punt from Matt Turk. 5:20 to play in the 3rd. Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. 5 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Miami Dolphins never trailed in this game, have yet to trail this season. They lead 13-3, and they start from their own 8-yard line. Ricky Williams. Not much running room.
Yeah, you know, the Jets, they're kind of like the Dolphins are a lot like the Jets today. They just can't get it going on offense either. They can't get Ricky Williams running the ball, having good success there to help them make the plays down the field, and they're having success right up the middle when they do get some good runs. But when you don't run it well, puts you in some tough situations sometimes. You can't get the play action pass game going, and it makes you rely on this long throws on third down, and that's a hard way to make a living.
Fiedler going to throw from his goal line. Chris Chambers made the catch at the 27-yard line. Thought for a second he might have been juggling it on his way out of bounds. The official says no.
Well, Chris Chambers on Donnie Abraham. Nice job of a play action pass. Gives the receiver a chance to go down, make a move.
You know, he was real close to still juggling the football as he crossed the line.
Yes, he was. And here comes the flag. Herman Edwards 1 for 1 today.
Gerald Lawson says, "What do you want?" And Herman Edwards says, "I think he was juggling it." So we're going to take a look.
Jets are challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass at the sideline. The play will be reviewed.
Let's watch it. First, let's see. Once he gets possession of the football, which is now.
Does he get 2 feet down? I don't think he did.
I don't think so either.
And you know, Phil, I'm proud to say I had this one from the get-go. That'd be 1 in 5 years, wouldn't it?
No, you're better than that, Greg.
2 in 5 years. Well, Gerald Dawson going to take a look at this one as time stops now with 4:14 to play in the third quarter.
But I can say when you do these, I sit at home all the time, and I go, oh, that isn't, and it's amazing that you think you got it right, and then they tell you you don't have it right, and then they tell you why, and you go, oh, I didn't notice that. So let's look at it one more time, and let's watch his feet. He does tap them. Well, that looks like it's out. The left foot looked like it. But what that doesn't show, here's the one you got to look at. See if we can stop it once he gets possession. The ball's moving.
Bounce.
He's got it now. He does have it. The tap, okay, the left foot taps, but was it on the line? I thought it was on the line. That was a good shot of it.
Yep, Gerald Austin taking a good long look. And Herman Edwards could absolutely see this as a little momentum change.
Well, look at it. It could be 3rd and, what was it when he threw the pass? It could be 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9.
Yep.
3rd and 8. That's a big change. Field position, everything. Don't even look at anything yet. Let's all just say when he gets the ball, has possession. Now.
Well, now the question becomes, is there anything there to overturn the call on the field?
After reviewing the play, the receiver, in making the catch, bobbles the ball, insecures control with the right foot down, and he drags his left foot. That's a completion. Couple on the field stand. The Jets will be charged for first timeout.
So Herman Edwards rolled the dice and lost.
Well, what I was going to say, whatever Gerald Austin says, I'm going to agree with because I just think it's that close. There's the right foot, and he's dragging the foot. I think it's when he taps it, I'm positive that's on the line, but it was dragging on the grass before that.
We got it.
Well, it's a first down for Miami at the 27. Fiedler throws coming across the field. McMichael. And McMichael out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line. 7-yard pickup, and it's 2nd and 3.
Yeah, the play action passes by the Dolphins has really created a lot of opportunities. And we did a couple San Diego games last year, and we did Washington Redskin games before that, Greg, and we know that Norv Turner, he loves to run play action passes and look for the big plays down the field. And
Williams rolls on the other side of the field out to the 45. That's another first down for Miami.
Boy, Ricky Williams, it's amazing. You would think by listening to everybody talk about him that he was just an absolute horrendous football player with the New Orleans Saints.
And a bad guy to boot.
Oh yeah, but you know when you go by, all of a sudden you go, oh, he got how many yards last year? Oh, he got 1,200. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. He caught how many passes? 60?
Williams coming this way.
Wow, nice run. Good blocking. Jamie Nails. Jamie Nails used to play for the Buffalo Bills. The left guard was 380 pounds. Look at him, number 66. Now he's down to about 320. Oh, yes. That is just, you know you're big when you just run out and run into people like this. You don't even duck your head. You don't hit him with your shoulder. You just body him. That's a big man.
And that's no little DB that he knocked around. That was Mo Lewis.
But what a good story. Lost 60 pounds to get a chance with the Dolphins and just took advantage of it.
On 2nd and 5, Ricky Williams lost the football, picked it up again, and is run out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That was Mo Lewis coming up and forcing the fumble.
Yeah, Mo Lewis just comes in and knocks it out. We said it earlier, Ricky Williams has a reputation. Hits on top of the football. That's what brings it out of Ricky Williams' hands. And again, they look to do that. They look to do that, like confusing the quarterback. If you fumble a couple of times, the players are talked to in practice all week. Rip it out of the running back's hand.
3rd and 3. Fiedler going to throw for it. That's complete to Chambers. First down, and he's still going inside the 40 to the 36-yard line of the Jets.
First time all day the Miami Dolphins have finally got some rhythm to their offense. Watch Chris Chambers. All the crossing, all the movement, that makes defensive players sit. They look one way. Oh, here comes Chris Chambers. By the time you react, it's too late. He catches it and gets a first down. This would be the spot of the field where you take a shot, look to score from about 35 yards out.
8th play of this drive. Williams, right side. Inside the 30 to the 27-yard line.
That's a new play for the Miami Dolphins, Greg. I'm sorry, but that's a new one. They call that the modern-day version of the power sweep. And that's Norv Turner never used that before, but the last couple years, and it's working very well with the Miami Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins are happy enough to let time expire here in the 3rd quarter and take it down to the other end of the field as they look to increase their lead. Last 10 seconds of the clock winding down, and with it, the Dolphins are hoping that this losing streak, which has reached 8 straight, will also wind down against the New York Jets. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, the Dolphins 13, the New York at the Jet 28-yard line. 2nd and 2. Williams has the first down and then some. Breaking tackle to the 16-yard line and a first down.
Could you hear it? If you're sitting at home, if you're a Jet fan, that was not a good sound. A lot of solid blocks up front. Robert Conrad just gets a good block on Mo Lewis. Ricky Williams, pretty powerful, that's all I can say. This is different. This is a different Miami offense. It truly does have power. The offensive line is aggressive.
And some jumping on the offensive line.
Ball start, 71 offense, 5 yards.
That's on Todd Wade.
First down.
You know, part of this hex, so-called hex that the Dolphins have been fighting against the Jets, this 8-game losing streak. Over that streak, the Jets have outscored Miami in the fourth quarter 100-43. 8 wins, 5 defensive touchdowns, the fourth quarter scoring, and 20 interceptions thrown by Miami quarterbacks.
Well, that explained it all.
Yeah. Oh, what a play. John Abraham comes in and tackles Ricky Williams behind the line.
Well, the Jets had a little stun up front, and John Abraham just beats the blocks to get in the backfield. 94, shoots through, top of your screen, and just makes the play. I was going to talk about it, though, Greg, before, as you look at John Abraham, but I've been in this business doing games for, I don't know, who knows, 8, 9 years. It's the first time I can ever say the Dolphins' offensive line is physical, and you can see it when you watch them play.
Fiedler pulls it down, run up the middle, and he is brought down just inside the 25-yard line by Sam Cowart. And it'll be a 3rd and 18 for Miami. And they were more than willing to agree on Friday that a lot of that, Ricky Williams helps the situation a great deal.
Yeah, you know, I said it early in the game, when you get a running back like him, all of a sudden offensive lineman became, you know, it's like I walk around with my big brother sometimes. I was a lot braver when he was around. And the same thing with offensive linemen. They just feel better. They know they can win the battle now a lot easier than they did before.
Jets need a defensive stop right here. Give it to Edwards. Edwards picking his way up the middle to the 11-yard line. Didn't get the first down, but it'll make Olindo Mare's field goal attempt a lot easier.
Oh, but this is a good call. The Dolphins don't take a chance. Robert Edwards, watch him move. We talked about coming back from the injury. That was a terrific move.
James Darling just
picked
the wrong way.
Yeah, it's really just an unbelievable story that he's made it back from the dislocated knee and now playing in the National Football League.
29-yard attempt by Mare. That one's perfect. 11:49 to play in regulation. Miami's lead is 16-3. Welcome once again. These pictures provided by Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Olindo Mare kicks it away deep and sails it all the way to the back line of the end zone. 11:49, time remaining on the clock. Time for the New York Jets to generate a little off. 11 minutes, 49 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. You're talking about, as you look at Vinny Testaverde's numbers, the lack of a big play. The biggest play for the Jets today, a 25-yard pass interference call on the Miami Dolphins. Curtis Martin alone back behind Testaverde. Gets the handoff. Little running room straight ahead to the 25-yard line. Tim Bowens combining with Brock Marion on the stop after 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5. Well, the Jets have been true to their promise. You look at Curtis Martin's numbers. They have gone back to giving him the football. And again, the conditions of the first 2 games weren't conducive to that. Martin again. Arturo Freeman. Second time today he's done that to Curtis Martin.
And Greg, like we said too, just because you decide to give it, look at Arturo Freeman, you're right, he's made a couple really good aggressive plays. Just because you say, well, we're going to run it this week, doesn't mean you're going to have success doing it. Running the football, it's harder to do than anything in the National Football League because it takes such coordination between so many players.
Spreading the field with 5 wide receivers. Jets 0 for their last 7 on 3rd down. Testaverde over the middle has Krebet. Krebet to the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Brock Marion makes the stop there, but it's a first down and an 18-yard pickup.
And you can say also, they said third downs, we're going to throw it to Wayne Krebet. They have done that today. Testaverde stands in there and throws with heavy pressure on him. Ogunglia, I should say, is right in his face.
Testaverde, who has thrown a couple of interceptions today, comes up with the third down conversion. From the 43, end around, Santana Moss cuts inside up to the 48-yard line.
Yep, he's fast. You know, you watch all these players run on the field, and you know, of course, everybody's fast and good athletes, but there's always a handful that stand out, and Santana Moss is one of those guys.
Week after week, we talk to different players, and we see rookies on teams, and we always ask them the big difference between college ball and pro ball, and to a man, they all say, everybody's really fast here.
Yeah, that's right.
2nd and 5. Testaverde under the gun, overthrows, threw it away. Jay Williams in hot pursuit, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
You know, again, there's going to be a play, and at least they're going to get a chance, but the pressure from the defensive line just gives Vinny Testaverde no chance to set up and really throw the football down the field.
Miami defensive line looks pumped on 3rd and 5. Jets need to reach the 47-yard line of the Dolphins for a first down. Testaverde throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of Lavernius Coles.
Well, in this league, when you get protected and the receiver's open, Lavernius Coles is wide open, but the throw is just not on target. And that's, I could see Herman Edwards' frustration when Testaverde missed the pass.
Matt Turk. Football is going to take a Jets bounce inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. Ball goes over to the Miami Dolphins. 8:43 to play in regulation.
The original and oh, we made us move our feet. Tito Puente, like that the taste of originality. Salutes individual.
Poll, which AFC rivalry is the most heated? You can cast your vote at NFL.com. Ricky Williams, admirers in the stands. First down, Dolphins, their own 19-yard line. And Ricky Williams gets the call. Out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Check in with Armin Kateya. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Talking about Ricky Williams, he's been open and honest about the fact that he was an emotional wreck in New Orleans, and frankly that he cracked under the pressure of trying to be the savior of the Saints. He also discovered he was suffering from something called social anxiety disorder that left him sick to his stomach and really unable to leave his house for up to 2 weeks at a time. But with the help of a therapist and some medication, he's really turned his life around, and as we saw Friday, he's a much happier and a much better football player and a happier person. Greg, back to you.
All right, Armin, thank you. On 2nd and 7, Williams, right side, cuts it back across the 25, out to the 30, and a first down. You know, in talking with Ricky about those days back in New Orleans, he was so reserved and so shy, he would sit in the locker room and do interviews wearing his helmet. And he said, sometimes I look back at that and I wonder what was going on with me.
You know, what was I thinking? I said, well, look, we all do that. Look, I did things in my life. I look back and go, wow, I was an idiot, or not an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. And of course, he had a problem. So he looks back and he can't believe why he did those things, but he did have a problem, has straightened it out.
This time Williams off the left side.
And Greg, we saw it, and I've known this before. I met him yesterday and talked to him. I met him before. He is a very, very nice person. And he loves, I'll tell you the other thing I thought that was interesting. He really likes it here in Miami because he says down here there are other things going on. Football is not the only game, and it's not such a focal point. So he thought in New Orleans, the New Orleans Saints were the only game in town. He says here, it's not that big of a deal, so I like that more.
2nd and 7. Williams again.
Okay, we're done.
He also operates his own website. And he says one of the big disappointments about it is he can only handle about 1,000 emails. He gets many more than that, and he sits down and answers each and every one of them.
Well, he picks out the ones that he thinks are worth answering, yes, because I'm sure a lot of them are not worthy of answering. But
now, how would you know? This is week 3, and you promised to email me in week 2. You haven't even turned the computer on.
Well, how about I just punch you after the game? Will that serve as a notice?
Again? Fiedler to throw. This side, complete. Shaking the tackle is McMichael. And McMichael across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Well, we hear coaches all the time just say to us, hey, we just got to go out and somebody's got to make a play. And that's what McMichael does this time. It's 3rd down. The pass is definitely short of the 1st down. There's 2 Jet defenders there, Ray Mickens and Donnie Abraham. He shakes the tackles and just basically ends the football game for the New York Jets.
Randy McMichael came in today with 6 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Today alone, 5 catches for 79 yards and a TD. Ricky Williams. And with that run, he's over 100 yards, and boy, a lot more. Look at him go. 20, 10, touchdown. A career-long 53-yard touchdown jaunt for Ricky Williams. And as you see there, the first Miami Dolphin to rush for more than 100 yards in 3 consecutive games.
Well, Ricky Williams, the speed, the loss of weight, you can see he's just more agile. And you look at the Jet defenders, you hear it, but the heat, they're tired, they've been on the field.
4:54 to play. The Dolphins feeling pretty good about ending this hex at the hands of the New York Jets. 2 yards deep in the end zone. Room to run, 25, and brought down at the 29-yard line by Trent Gamble. 31-yard return. The Miami Dolphins are so happy Ricky Williams has come to town. Looking to put an end to this 8-game losing streak to the Jets. After his numbers, that the Dolphins just don't want to end this hex. They want to snap it off at the neck. Testaverde screen. And Martin is run out of bounds on the far side. Let's go back to the touchdown run.
Well, so many good things. A little misdirection by the Dolphins. Ricky Williams cuts it back. Good blocking down the field, and here he just turned it on.
And Dave Wanstedt, who said he was just absolutely delighted to welcome Ricky Williams into the Miami camp this year.
Well, that's a story in itself. He ran into Ricky Williams last year at the Super Bowl in New Orleans at the airport.
Testaverde on the run and completes the pass to Lavernius Coles. That'll be enough for a 1st down.
Good play, but he ran into him, and he had a long talk in the airport, and Dave Wanstedt got on the plane with his wife and says, you know, I think this is a really good guy. You know, he didn't misread that confrontation they had, and the process started where they made the trade to get Ricky Williams.
Testaverde lost the football. Jason Taylor has the ball. Another Jet turnover.
Well, it's the defensive lineman. That's a triple bagger. It's a sack, a caused fumble, and a fumble recovery. Jason Taylor reaches. What a play. What an athlete, though, he is.
All three of Testaverde's turnovers have come in his own territory today. Travis Minor in the game now and is going to sweep right. Ricky Williams, understandably, through for the day.
Yeah, you know this whole thing. There's Ricky Williams on the sideline. Let me just tell you, you hear the excitement with the fans. The fans know that they got a star. So that excites them. They like that. You see the excitement with the players. We saw it when we were at their complex, Greg. But this is different. This is a different Miami Dolphin team. When you run the ball the way they have the first 3 games, it gets better as the year goes along. So many things come off of running the football well. Your defense gets better. Your offensive line has a different mentality. Your passing game now gets more explosive. Your quarterback gets hit less.
Travis Minor to the 10.
And the other thing is that, like Dave Wanstead said, I get my 5 best players on offensive line in there. Now he's got them along with Ricky Williams, and we're seeing how it all comes together.
A look at Vinny Testaverde on the Jet sideline. 2 interceptions and a fumble. First and goal. Travis Minor to the 5. You know, and Ricky caught a screen pass and scored a touchdown and showed some of that speed last week against the Indianapolis Colts. And Norv Turner told us, well, I'm really happy with him, but he wants to catch more passes.
Yeah, Ricky Williams asked Norv, can I catch more passes?
And he says, well, we've got a whole lot of guys with 80-something on their chest that we use for that.
Yeah, he says, no, you cannot.
I think they're pretty happy with young Mr. Williams. 2:02, 2:01, and now 2 minutes to play here in Miami. The Miami Dolphins and their fans celebrating. Well, one streak was going to come to an end today. Either the Jets' winning streak against Miami or that home pre-October winning streak that the Dolphins have here, and which is run for 16 games. That's the one that's going to be extended. Unbeaten. Touchdown. Travis Minor. Icing on the cake for the Dolphins.
Well, a couple things. The Dolphins, you know you're a really good running football team, and you just take everything away from the defense. When everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run it every single play, and you take it right down and score the touchdown. And it doesn't say a lot for the Jets defense that they let them do it.
1:55 to play. Miami puts more on the board. 30-3 Dolphins. Over. Miami takes just 4 plays to get it into the end zone on Travis Minor's 5-yard run. As you look at Jamie Nails, Olindo Mare. Short kick. Bounces one, picked up by Lamont Jordan. And Jordan breaks it to this side. Mare giving chase and is run out of bounds just across midfield. Well, we posed the question at the beginning of the day. What would happen? Is 8 enough? It has been a superlative effort by the Miami Dolphins to cut this 8-game winning streak. And as Dick Van Patten said at the start of the day,
please, 8 is enough.
So say the Miami Dolphins. Chad Pennington has come on to quarterback the New York Jets. Vinny Testaverde is finished for the day. 14 of 25 for 125 yards, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. Now, here's the question that I have for you, Phil, as the clock continues to run. Herman Edwards laid a lot of himself and his emotion on the line at the beginning of this week in talking to his New York Jets. What does he do this coming week? How does he go about it?
Well, that's a good question, Greg. I think that the New York Jets, somebody's down on the field for the Miami Dolphins. Hey, you know, the Jets, we were curious. We talked about it. When you get embarrassed as a professional athlete, your first instinct, and always you come back and you fight and try to rectify what you did wrong. But there's no doubt in my mind now, the Jets losing like this again, that there's self-doubt. What are we doing? Is it right? Is our philosophy the right one? You know, should we be playing this guy? There's a lot of thoughts that go through the players' heads, but they go through the coach's head too. And this is where a coach,
David Bowen's trotting off the field.
Yes. This is where a coach, you got to have deep beliefs in what you do. And Herman Edwards, like he stood on the sideline last week, and he didn't like what he saw on the field, because it wasn't what he wanted his New York Jet team to look like. Well, at least philosophically, they tried to do it today. And you do not change that just because you lost. You stay with it, and it'll fix itself if you stay with it long enough.
Oh, Pennington is just run down by Jay Williams, number 91.
Wow.
Loss of 8 on the play.
Jay Williams coming from the outside. Oh, and just gets a free hit on Chad Pennington. You know, the Miami Dolphins lost some defensive linemen during the offseason. They picked up Agunglia, Jay Williams, Rob Burnett, and Dave Wanstead says they've all been terrific.
Pennington, short flip to Lamont Jordan. Jordan across midfield to the 47-yard line, and the clock continues to move. You know, one of the things that Herman Edwards pointed out, not just to his team, but to us, he says, you know, this is just 2 games into the season. It's still a very young season.
No, that's right. A lot to go, and the season's not over for the New York Jets. There were a couple times last year I thought it was over because their defense was playing so bad, but they straightened it out and then went through a stretch where they were terrific. Yep. So, you know, an NFL season takes about 5 turns.
That's Anthony Beck, his first reception of the day, and he's down at about the 26-yard line. Dave Wanstead, that's a nice little streak, and you know what? This is the first time in his head coaching career Dave Wanstead has started a season 3-0.
Well, I had questions about this Miami Dolphins team. You know, I wasn't convinced. I was convinced that the offense has taken a turn for the really good side. But the defense I had some questions about. You know, I really wasn't sure because it's faltered late in the year, but today they answered some of those. They're a little stronger than I thought they would be up front, and playing offense the way they do, that's only going to help their defense.
Terrific showing by that young man, Ricky Williams. Miami with 211 rushing yards on a day, 111 coming of them in the 4th quarter. Pennington looking for the end zone, intercepted inside the 5-yard line by Brock Marion. Marion to the 20. This play will end the game, and Marion looking for the end zone. Midfield, cuts it back, and brought down at the 35-yard line to end the game. There is a penalty marker down on the field. And as the field is overrun, the officials need to sort this out, figure out what happened.
Number 93 during the return. That penalty is declined. Game is over.
And as Gerald Lawson says, it's a Miami victory. The New York Jets in back-to-back games have been outscored 74-10. As the coaches would say, back to the drawing board. For Ricky Williams and the Miami Dolphins, nothing but a happy end to a tough work week. They win it by a score of 30-3. For Armin Katayan and Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks.